This week, we continue our discussion of using the library with a guest presentation by the USP Library Liaison. In 2023 and 2024, our USP Library Liaison is Ms. Sushila Lal. And so you will see on the Moodle page a recording in which Ms. Lal gives an explanation of how to use the library and the services that are available to students. Particularly for our online students who may not have access to a physical library collection, it's really important that you learn how to use the library catalogue. The library catalogue is a search engine which allows you to find out what sources or materials are on physical shelves in the library, but also what online databases may have materials that you can download for free. You might be familiar with how to use databases from your UU100 course or from doing the Information Research Skills course. Some examples of databases include JSTOR, Cambridge Core, and Project News. These three particular databases often have good history materials. But it's important to remember that these are the names of the databases that store different journal articles. These are not the names of journals themselves. One of the key things to do when using the library catalogue or databases is to experiment with different keywords. That means finding other synonyms which might assist you in expanding your search, or for the purposes of history, you might want to use historical terms. For example, in this course, we noted that many different Polynesian islands have had different names over time. So, if you're looking for materials about Easter Island but cannot find very much, you might also like to use the indigenous term Rapa Nui. Similarly, if you look up a term like the Cook Islands, which is a European invention, you may find difficulty in finding specific materials. So you might like to narrow your search by using specific island names in the Cooks, like Rarotonga. Fiji, for example, has had different spellings over time by different visitors. So you could try spelling Fiji alternatively with two E's, or by the indigenous name Fiti. So in this way, by experimenting with different keywords, you can maximize the number of results that you have. For your first assignment, when you want to look for oral traditions, you may find that typing in oral tradition only gives you a limited scope. Some other potential keywords you might consider include history, myth, legend, stories, for example. Sushila's recorded video gives a great explanation of the library databases. But in addition to this, I just wanted to point out some of the key prompts on the main library catalogue that might help you. You can see here that I've used quotation marks to search for the phrase oral traditions, and I've also included Polynesia, so I get a more localized set of results. On the top left-hand side of the page, I can limit all my results to those that appear in physical form in the libraries. Or on the right-hand side, I can only show the database results, which means I'll only get online copies. If you look here under the first publication, which is titled South Pacific Oral Traditions, we can see it is the format of a book, and it's physically located in one of our campus libraries. So if you click the button Show Hide Copies, you will see which libraries it is available, what the call number is so you can request it, and whether it has been borrowed already. If you're looking for an online article, you might see number 2. If you want to access it to see what the details are, you can click this green bar that says View Content. Down at the bottom you can see it's an academic journal from 2023. The title itself does not appear to be very relevant to our particular history topic. Although it's talking about the pre-contact period, it's focusing on taro farming, and that may not be relevant to our particular topic. But we won't know until we click View Content to see what the abstract says and perhaps even download the article. If you click View Content, you might have to follow the prompts to find more. The same goes for if you're using an external search engine like Google Scholar. Google Scholar is different to Google because it focuses on academic sources. You can use online sources in your assignments, however they need to be reliable, and sources like Encyclopedia Britannica or Wikipedia are not recommended for this course. Google Scholar may give you more specific academic texts, which have references and a bibliography. In this example, I've searched for a number of different terms under Google Scholar. I've used the word and or as a way of limiting my search. You can see here that I've used the terms Polynesia and oral traditions, but I've also looked for sources which use the terms myth or legend. In some cases, like the first one, the source will be marked as a book, so you might be able to download the PDF or view the book online. If a full text is available, you can click on the right-hand side of the page. This second one looks like a useful source from the University of Hawaii, and you can download the PDF there. Some of them might also mention the journal in which it is published. So we can see on the 5th source on this page that the Marui myth is actually published in the Journal of the Polynesian Society. So this is a good indicator that this might be a useful source as well. Of course, when you're documenting these sources, you can use the Cite button underneath each source to get an accurate reference that you can use in your bibliography. That's a brief overview of how to use the USP Library database or Google Scholar database to search for online sources. Now let's look at the USP Library website. Here is a shot of the USP Library website, and if we click up here to Guides, we can go to a subject guide. If you scroll down to the subject guides, you can find the history subject guide here. And you'll notice that there are two different pages. Let's look at each one. Let's start with the history guide. Here's the history guide, which has a list or guides to finding books, finding journal articles, websites, and Pacific materials. It also provides referencing help for the Chicago referencing style, which is the main referencing style that we are using in history. If we go back to the other page, you'll find the history style guide, which you can download as a PDF version. This is also listed on the Moodle page. The PDF history style guide provides an explanation of how to write an essay, how to use footnotes, and how to follow the Chicago style of referencing. All history essays and assignments should be using footnotes throughout your undergraduate studies here at USP. Let's go back to the main history webpage on the USP Library website. If you're looking for specific materials related to Pacific history, there is a bar here that says Pacific Materials, and they have some wonderful collections about pre-colonial history which you can use. For example, we have 3 Pacific books which are available online, which you can use. Plus we have online resources from the American Historical Association, the National Library of Australia, and the Pacific Manuscripts Bureau. I just want to take this time to highlight the wonderful work that the Pacific Manuscripts Bureau does at the Australian National University. The Pacific Manuscripts Bureau has been in existence for almost 50 years and has copied archives, manuscripts, and rare printed material relating to the Pacific Islands. Some of their collection include photographs, but also missionary documents, including dictionaries, notes, and translations from missionaries and European officials who lived in the islands. This is a wonderful catalogue in which you might be able to find oral traditions that can help your assignments. You have free access to the Pacific Manuscripts Bureau catalogue. Although the catalogue looks a little bit different to the USP Library one, it operates in the same way, and you can use search terms like Polynesia and oral traditions to try and find particular ones that are relevant to you. Not all the items are digitized, but there are increasingly a number of digital items which might help you understand pre-colonial Polynesian history. This provides a brief overview of the resources that are available to you, whether you are face-to-face in one of our campuses or online. There is a large amount of material online, and it just requires a few tricks and a bit of practice to learn how to use it. If you'd like a more detailed discussion of the USP Library services, I'm including on the Moodle page the recorded discussion with Ms. Sushila Lal from 2023, which helps explain what things the library can do for you. Thank you and good luck with your future assignments.